Welcome, everybody. I thought I had it set to a loop. I was getting one last sip in, caught me early. But welcome to the Too Generic Pod. Caught me off guard on my back foot, but it's all good because I got that. I got it like that. I can recover. So anyway, we got the NBA playoffs today. I thought I had it on loop. What a mess. But it's all good.
Yeah, usually
We're just going to keep it rolling. UFC Fight Night was last night. We got UFC 307 is next week. And we're here to talk about the Knicks and the Timberwolves blockbuster trade to send former number one overall pick Karl Anthony Towns to the New York Knicks. And I believe he grew up a big New York fan all over. Like he loved Yankees, Knicks, maybe Giants.
He did.
That's true, right? I feel like I've always seen him in Yankee stuff forever.
He was just he was just at Yankee Stadium, I think, earlier this season or last season. He was in a Yankees cap. They had him on the field.
Right. And then, ironically enough, A-Rod bought the Timberwolves. Right?
Right.
A former Yankee bought the Timberwolves and then traded them to New York. So maybe he got his wish. Maybe this was a favor.
Right.
But I really do like the trade. I think both teams win, genuinely. I'd love to hear your take on this, and then I could go on my rant.
Yeah, I was kind of 50-50 on it. I don't really know who won the trade. I think the Knicks have one of the most dangerous or one of the best starting fives on paper now. But those are the teams you kind of got to watch, those teams that look good on paper, because you got Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, and then you have Karl Anthony Towns at the 5. And then I think Mitchell Robinson is having surgery, so he's going to be out, they say, until December or January. But honestly, it might be better to keep Robinson on the bench, because then, it lessens the chance of him getting hurt. He doesn't have to log as many minutes out there, because Robinson, he's a really good center. He just can't stay healthy. He's a really good offensive rebounder, a really good defender. Good for the Knicks. I think it's a addition by subtraction getting rid of Randall in the last year of his contract. So at least you're able to get something for him. And then it kind of sucks you have to, give up DiVincenzo after the playoff run he had last season. Really a breakout year for him. You're breaking up the Villanova boys. But I think it's good for Minnesota to get DiVincenzo, get another scorer, get another guy who can score on his own, hit the 3 ball. And also they get a first round pick via Detroit. Minnesota does as well too. So the Knicks are just they don't really care about those first round picks. They're giving them out like they're candy. But
I forgot about the first from Detroit because it was so protected. So apparently it's protected until the 14th pick, which is the full lottery.
Oh, okay.
So when will the Pistons be picking out of the lottery in the next 3 years? I don't know.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. But
it could be for the future. I don't know how long it gets pushed back, because at some point I think all those provisions run out.
And I don't know how I feel about Randall on Minnesota. I think Randall's a great second or third option. I think in his mind he thinks he's a number one guy, but he really isn't a number one guy. I just don't know how that's going to work in Minnesota. But I do like DiVincenzo going to Timberwolves, and I like Towns on the Knicks. One of the most efficient shooting big men we've seen, and a guy who's probably shot about probably about 40% from 3, I would think, and very efficient from the field from the free throw line.
About 41.
Yeah, and he's been banged up a bit the last 2 seasons, but a very efficient scorer. Just when it comes to the playoffs, you don't know what you're going to get from him. But as far as the regular season goes, he gets the yips. But as far as the regular season goes, he's just as good scoring wise as any other 4 or 5 you can name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's why I trust Karl Anthony Towns being the 5 in New York. Like you said, with Mitchell Robinson out for some time, you have Cat going to the 5, which I like that, especially when you have a bunch of defenders too. You have Mikal Bridges, you have OG Anunoby, you have a great rebounder in Josh Hart at the 2. It's very flexible. He could play the 4. He could guard 4s. OG could guard 2s. OG could guard 4s. They have such a flexible lineup from 2 to 4 with Bridges, OG, and Hart that I think it even makes up for even some of the stuff that Cat doesn't do on defense. You're not
And I
going to
think it also takes
that ultimate rim stopper because OG's not getting blown by. Mikal
right.
Bridges, in theory, isn't getting blown by.
And
So
I think it also takes a lot of pressure off. I mean, maybe he's playing now in New York City, which is, the biggest arena to play at in the NBA or in the world. But also, he doesn't have to be that number one option, really. I mean, he almost can be the number 3 option. You got Jalen Brunson as your number 1. I think Bridges he was trying to be a number 1 option in Brooklyn, and we saw how that worked out. And granted, he doesn't have a great team or whatever, but I think Bridges is a great number 2 option. And then Towns, at times can be the number 2 option, but definitely a 3 option. So I think that takes some pressure off of Towns, not having to be that number 1 guy all the time.
Feels a little bit like the Celtics on where they have almost like 5 options out there, or 4. Maybe if people didn't really consider Derek White a 5th option or whatever, but you know what I'm saying, like a big 4, basically. They have a big 4 and rock with it. Like any night could be anybody's night. Jalen Brunson might be the 4th option some nights. As funny as that may sound, you might look at the box score and see Brunson might only have 13 tonight, but he's got 11 assists and everybody 8. All the starters are in double digits. Cat's got 19. OG's got 17. Mikal dropped 24 that night. This is a box score that we could see. So I actually really like the team. And as they want to be the Nova Knicks, it could be like this college team where they share the rock and it's not just a star every single night. And Jalen Brunson won't be in MVP talks next year.
Right. And like we were talking about, you do have guys that can just on any given night can go off for 40. Brunson, Bridges, and Towns have the capability of doing that. And kind of like with the Celtics, with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I mean, it's just
Porzingis.
So much. Yeah, and so much balance. And then you'll have nights. You'll have some nights with Derek White, like we were talking about. He can go for 25 or 30, hit 5 or 6 threes. We saw that last season. We saw some of his games in the playoffs. And then Holiday, you'll have some big nights where he shoots well from the 3-point line. So in the Knicks, I feel like kind of have that with Bridges, Towns, and Brunson.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be a scary lineup, to be honest. And then they got a little bit off the bench. They don't have too much. But, Precious Achiuwa, decent. He can't complain about that. And then they even got some good young guards. We liked Deuce McBride last year. He showed some promise, showed a lot of heart. And he was pretty streaky from 3, but when he gets hot, it looks good. And then Tyler Kolek, who they just drafted, would be probably their 3rd point guard, all the way at the end of the bench. Probably won't play too much, but still looked pretty good at Summer League. Was dropping dimes, hitting threes. People kind of put him in this TJ McConnell box before the draft. And if anything, at Summer League, he showed he's not TJ McConnell because TJ McConnell doesn't shoot threes.
Right.
He's not a shooter. Like, as funny as that sounds, and I think a lot of people have an image of who TJ McConnell is, that guy can't shoot threes. He might shoot them at a high percentage. He might shoot like 38% or something like. I don't even know what his percentage is. I'm not looking at it, but he doesn't shoot a lot of attempts, nor does he look for them ever. The only time he shoots them is when he basically is wide open, like bare butt naked, wide open. Nobody's guarding him, and he just gets to line it up. And it's like a free throw at that point. Like, those are the only threes that TJ McConnell takes. So I've seen everybody and their mother literally call him like a new TJ McConnell. I wouldn't call him that at all. I think he's more of a facilitator, less of a defender, less of a mid-range guy. He's a playmaker, and he shoots threes. They just kind of look alike. They're just both 6-foot white guys. But other than that, they do not play alike at all.
And talking about
Kolek could be interesting. A project they could build on, especially because who knows how old Brunson can be going in, like, further into his career. These 6-foot guards don't necessarily age too well. And especially the way he plays. He plays very hard. He's a little stocky too. So who knows if extra weight will do something to his knees, or does that mainly just affect big men? So we'll see, because it affected Mitchell Robinson. If you remember, Mitchell Robinson came into the league very skinny. He got drafted out of what, out of high school, right? Went to like Western Kentucky or something for like a half a year and pretty much didn't even play. Something like that. Anyway, now we see how much weight he put on. He kind of lumbers
Yeah,
around, and he led the
yeah.
league in offensive rebounds
He
last
looks
year.
limp.
What'd you say?
It looks like he's always limping. He walks
It
funny.
looks like he's always limping.
Robinson.
Yes, I've said it for years. Ever since he put on that weight after his rookie year, he like lumbers around. Like he like kind of like walks like Frankenstein or something, like a zombie kind of. You just kind of see him and I can't explain it, but he doesn't move as fluid as he used to. And it's because of
He's
the
got the
weight. You see it. You see it in his face. You see it everywhere. He looks like a bigger guy. And I don't know if he was necessarily supposed to put on that much weight because now he's had a slew of injuries ever since. But I will say the last injury is Joel Embiid's fault.
yeah.
Weight, I can't blame. The only
That
weight I could blame is Joel Embiid's fat ass for pulling fucking Mitchell Robinson down off the floor. He hurt
yeah.
him
When he was coming off of an injury because
when he
he
was
was missed.
when he was coming off of an injury.
Yeah, he missed most of last season. He only played 31 games in the regular season last year, and then Embiid grabbed his ankle, and Embiid was trying to say I don't know what he was trying to say, like it wasn't a dirty play. I mean, he clearly grabbed his ankle. Embiid wasn't trying to get up or move out of the way or trying to brace Robinson or something. He clearly grabbed his ankle because he was pissed off because he didn't get a foul call like he does all the
He even
time.
like jerked it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I'll look for the video
Even though
I'll find the video quick. I'll try to do it. But that really was like the most egregious. That was like when you remember like when Ndamukong Suh started doing dirty shit in the pile in the NFL, and they're
oh
like
yeah, well,
he's like stepping on people's hands and he's like doing like
he
a
stepped
bunch of weird shit.
he stepped on people's legs.
He stepped on people's legs,
I
on their
forgot
fingers, on their hands. He
I
would do a
forgot
bunch of things. And that's what Joel Embiid reminds me of. Ndamukong Suh,
I forgot what
somebody who is literally the best of the best at their position and still plays dirty as fuck, trying to get a competitive advantage by doing something dirty. And it reflects people don't fuck with you like that. It is what it is. Like, you could win MVPs, you could be the best, like Ndamukong Suh was the best defensive tackle on Madden. He was still 98. He was the dirtiest player in the league. He was a scumbag in a lot of people's eyes. Still the best defensive tackle. But it eventually ruins your reputation. And you're not passing the torch essentially to the next generations. You're kind of ruining that chemistry. And same thing with Joel. Think about it. He just potentially ended Mitchell Robinson's career. Potentially. We don't know how he's going to come back from this knee injury. We haven't seen it yet. And as of right now, he's been out for months.
Yeah, and certainly sidelined him for some time. I mean, he certainly sidelined him for some time. I mean, best case scenario, he's going to be out until December or January. And if you remember, Robinson, he was doing a great job defending Embiid throughout that series. He was really the only one who could slow him down. I mean, Embiid was having trouble getting shots off at times. I mean, he'd be passing it out.
Embiid thought he got hit in the hand on a jumper. Next possession, he tackles Mitchell Robinson at the knees while he's on the ground. And Mitchell Robinson's jumping for a rebound. Joel Embiid's laying on the ground and literally just bear hugs his knees when the guy's jumping in the air, doesn't let him land properly. It is obviously one of the dirtiest plays of last season. I don't know. And that reflects on Joel Embiid in my eyes. I look at him a little differently because, like I said, with Ndamukong Suh, you are one of the best players in the whole league. You're supposed to set the standard. But instead, you're hurting other players who don't make as much money as you, who are trying to achieve the same goal that you have. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ndamukong Suh was stepping on – he's getting a max contract as a defensive tackle, and then he's stepping on, like, the second string nose guard's hands or whatever he's doing. Like, this is the type of shit that isn't good for the league. That's the way I see it. When you see a guy on max deals hurting guys who are bench players who not saying they don't make enough to get by, but like, come on, these guys are not the guys making generational wealth. And I'm not saying you could go out there and cheap shot, Zach LaVine or LeBron or whoever else is on a max deal out there just because they make money and they have the money to take care of themselves later in life if they hurt their knee and they can't walk anymore. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is there are these guys who are in the league as role players who don't get all the shine and spotlight. And then at the same time, the media won't cover it when they get hurt. You know what I'm saying? If Mitchell Robinson bear hugged Joel Embiid's knee and Joel Embiid is out right now and talking about, oh, Joel's out until after December, you know what the media will be talking about right now? Mitchell Robinson, dirtiest player in the league, ruining the league. The Knicks are the bad boys. They don't play by the rules. There would be this new spun narrative. But because he's not the one that's a superstar and gets big bucks and now people don't care, he doesn't have an advocate. No one's on Mitchell Robinson's side actually trying to make sure that cheap shots aren't taken against role players and these other type of guys who don't have the clout to get the media coverage and stuff. I feel bad. Dude really, like you said, was out all year, came back, was doing well for the short stint that he was back, and then Joel does the dirtiest move and breaks his knee or whatever happened because he's got surgery because of this.
And also, I don't think was Embiid fined or it definitely wasn't suspended. Was he?
Definitely wasn't suspended.
Fined at all for that either?
I got a quick question.
For that
are you on Wi-Fi and not normally on Wi-Fi?
I'm not on Wi-Fi right now.
Could you get on Wi-Fi potentially?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, because usually you don't lag and like your screen is 100% blurry. And
really?
the speech is delayed, like a lot. Like you'll say something, and then it'll like shoot all your words out, like really fast. Like you're frozen now. Like it's been really glitchy.
All right.
It looks a lot better now.
All right, it's on now.
Yeah, 100% better. It was rough for a little bit.
Now you're frozen.
Oh, now I'm frozen. You're frozen now too.
Oh, no.
At least it's HD. You're frozen, but it's HD, so it's like it's clear.
Perfect. Beautiful.
It works. But yeah, that I see it as a super dirty play, and I just feel bad for Mitchell Robinson, and because of that, they had to make this move. And I'll say I think it works out for both teams. I think Dante DiVincenzo, the Knicks sold on a high. He will never have that season again.
Right.
That was the best season of his career. Congratulations, Dante DiVincenzo. You outplayed your contract. You outplayed your prospective value from everyone in the league. You proved everybody wrong from last year. But I think there's some regression coming. I think he's going to probably play some version of a sixth man in Minnesota, which is fine because he could run the point. He could run the two, even run the three because he rebounds. He plays defense. I like the big Ragu.
But is he gonna? You don't think he's gonna start?
Well, what is it gonna be? It's gonna be Mike Conley, Edwards,
Rudy
McDaniels, Randall, Gobert.
Oh, I forgot about Randall too. Yeah,
Randall. That's what I'm. And if people are writing off Randall like he wasn't All NBA. He was All NBA 2 years ago. All NBA is the top 15 players in the NBA.
And also, he gave hope back to New York. That first year he was there. I understand, the whole Trae Young thing. They got knocked out in the first round of the playoffs pretty easily. But he was a big reason as to why they went to the playoffs. And he was probably, I don't know, top 7, top 8 MVP candidate that year too. I mean, people really hate on Randall. For whatever, he takes some bad shots. He shoots, low from the field sometimes, makes some questionable plays. But he kind of gave hope back to New York.
He did.
The New York Knicks
started the movement.
He brought him back to the playoffs. You got to respect that. It's like, it's Marcus Smart. It's Marcus.
Right.
The Knicks don't have a championship right now. But it was like Marcus Smart died for this. He died for this.
It's true. Marcus Smart was getting DPOYs when it didn't matter.
Yep. Just to lose.
Just to lose. And then Julius Randle was getting MVP votes and All NBA votes when it didn't matter. But it was just this great hope story of, oh my God, the Knicks, finally, there's something there. There's something going on.
Yeah, you
And
got
so
to
don't sleep on Randall, man. Randall's got big game, and at the same time, don't sleep on what Anthony Edwards can do. Because I think Julius Randle is a confidence guy. He seems like he has very bad body language at times on the court.
No, all the time.
All the time.
He's miserable on the court.
Miserable. But I think playing with Ant Edwards, he's like the ultimate leader and motivator. I think he'll get Julius Randle's head right. Like, he's going to get him wired right, and he's going to be thinking all the good things about taking over the game and being, progressive, not just like reacting to the situation. I think that's what Edwards is going to do, and he's going to ignite Randle. I think Gobert will be better off because Cat and Gobert never got along.
Right.
I think this opens up a little bit of space for McDaniels just to see what he could do because Randle might not come back right away. I don't know if he's going to start game one.
I think he should.
It makes sense, but who knows?
That would be my starting lineup. I mean, it makes sense to bring Dante DiVincenzo off the bench. He's a
great sixth man.
Yeah.
So, I think, if Randle starts, regardless, McDaniels, I think, will have a new look. And it'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down for it all. I really think this is a great move. And then you get a big, because you didn't need a power forward anymore in New York. You have OG. OG's going to play the 4. That's where he wants to play. So, this is where it's at.
And also, Josh Hart can kind of play like a 4 too, with the way.
And Josh Hart plays like a 4 half the time. So if OG wants to play the 3, Mikal goes to the 2. Mikal will play the 2. That's what I'm saying. It's all so flexible. The only thing that I don't feel is flexible is Mikal at the 4. That's the only thing.
No, I
don't want Mikal at the 4.
Yeah, he's too skinny. He's going to get bodied in the paint.
Yeah, and I seen him last year. He could be a little lazy on defense, but that's on the Nets. I don't know if he cared anymore. If he was like, this is a lost season, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but also if you have like a defensive minded team, it makes you, want to play defense more. Or makes you want to, like, if you look at even Kyrie with the Celtics, his defensive rating was always really good. I mean, he actually took defense seriously when he was with the Celtics. Or there's certain guys who actually tap in the defense a little bit more. When there's time.
I remember I would walk into your room when Kyrie was on the team, and you would be like, he's such a ball hog. He's such a ball hog. That's all you would ever say.
Or it's like or LeBron, when it's time to play defense, he's ready to lock in on defense on defense. You look in the finals, everybody was playing
Olympics.
So it's just like when you have that situation, or you're in a good situation, a good environment, and you like the people you play with, you kind of play harder on both sides of the ball.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. I think Cat is a great option. They have the Nova Knicks, but also they have a big Kentucky connection there. So I think eventually they might even try to do another swap and get Devin Booker in there. I think it's going to be a mixture of Nova Knicks and the Kentucky boys. The Kentucky Wildcats.
Who are you going to trade there, though?
It would probably be like OG Anunoby and something else. And
Robinson. You might have to trade
Mitchell Robinson. And then you get Devin Booker. And then you have Brunson, Booker, Bridges. We'll figure out the 4. And then you have Cat.
But your defense gets significantly worse with losing Anunoby and Robinson.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really like that trade. And plus, you gave Anunoby all that money.
They did, but that's the contract filler to get Booker.
I suppose. There's
no way to get Booker if you don't pay OG.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't love that trade right now. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes because, the defense will fall off a cliff. If you get rid of OG for Devin Booker, it does sound good, but I don't know if the defense will work out.
Yeah, and Thibodeau's going to kill Booker. He's going to play him 45 minutes a night. Mm-hmm. Booker's going to request the trade 10 games in.
Yeah. But Malik Rose has a lot of connections to Kentucky and everything, the GM of the Knicks. You just kind of have to understand the behind the scenes of it all. And it makes sense why he went for a Kentucky guy to fill out the Villanova spot that they needed. Right. They didn't have a big. You're not going to bring Eric Pascal.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be your starting 5 for the Knicks this year if you want to do Nova Knicks. So you need someone else.
Yeah, but to complete the Kentucky connection, you could get Kevin Knox. Go get, get Kevin Knox real quick.
Man, Neanderthal Knox. I can't stand him.
He's with the Warriors. He just signed a 1-year deal with the Warriors.
Yeah, he looks like the original caveman.
He's scary looking.
Pictures.
He's scary looking.
He's scary. I really was calling him that a long time ago. I kind of feel bad, but I still think it's hilarious. Neanderthal Knox. I came up with that myself.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a scary dude.
It's a scary looking dude.
I forgot this would be his second stint with the Knicks. I just remembered that. He was drafted by the Knicks.
Yeah, he was drafted. If you don't remember, do you remember Zion snatching the rock for him at Summer League and causing an earthquake?
Yep, that was scary.
They shut down Summer League because of the earthquake, but it happened right after he ripped it from him and then dunked.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's his highlight. That's his highlight.
That's his career highlight, is getting mugged.
That's his career highlight. Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he really doesn't have too many career highlights. I think there was like 1 week where he got hot from a corner three. I think I remember that about Kevin Knox. And everyone's like, he's putting it together.
But he had a few good games last year with Portland, right? Didn't he have some like 20, 30-point games?
Yeah.
Here and there for a week.
He'll hit a couple threes, and then and then it's like, oh, he got 18 tonight. And it's like, oh, he just hit 4 threes, and no one guarded him.
Yeah, when everybody on the Trailblazers was hurt last season.
Yeah, and it was like Trailblazers, Grizzlies, and the Grizzlies didn't play nobody last year. They were a glorified G League team, and then you got a whole team of rookies at Portland, and it was just kind of whatever. Then you got Knox going in there. He's probably the oldest guy in the game at 26, and like he just hit a couple threes, and his stats look good. Like that's what happened. It wasn't good by any means.
It wasn't good.
It wasn't. And I seen these games. You know why? Because when I got home from work last year, the way my schedule was, I got home at about 8 o'clock West Coast time, which is 11 p.m. East Coast. So the only games that were on were these Portland games that are dog shit, and I had to watch them.
I'd go back to work.
Right? I would just want to go back to work. I put myself to sleep so I didn't have to watch these games. That's how bad they got. This year, So I cut my tutoring schedule down so I could catch the East Coast games.
Yeah.
So I'm working a little bit less, but I want to make sure I'm accurate on the pod. I want to make sure I'm watching all these games. I don't want to just say Alex Sarr sucks. I want to make sure I watch Alex Sarr suck before I say he sucks. So I want to be informed properly.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm doing. So now I got tutoring down until 4:30. After I get out of work at 2, then I go 2:30 to 4:30. And then so I should be back by 5:30, which means 8:30 East Coast, which means I still miss a lot East Coast games. But it's a little bit better than getting home at 11 p.m. East Coast, and I missed everything.
Yeah, you catch the second half or the fourth.
Yeah, I'll catch the second half of games, things like that. And I mean, that's what I've had to do. That's what I was talking about Naz Hillman last week. And I said, I haven't really seen her start that much. But at the same time, I don't catch the beginning of dream games. Why? Because that's East Coast, and they're the worst team. So.
And now you won't see her for another year.
Right. Now I won't see her for another year. But for real, like that's what I'm saying. I missed the beginning of these games. So I didn't know Naz starting.
Right.
I watch the games. I just don't watch tip-off because I get out of work at a specific time, and by the time I get home, I miss tip-off.
Right.
And, yeah, I don't know. And then I see Naz Hillman going out there at the end of quarters or the middle of quarters and stuff. But I guess she plays the whole quarter now.
Yep.
And she's just hustling. So, shout out to her. We get another Naz Hillman shout-out.
But how are we feeling about these the semis now?
All right, so the semifinals – I want to say I am absolutely shocked. The Storm and the Mercury both got eliminated and swept round 1.
Yeah, I thought if any series was going to go the length, the 3 games, I thought it would definitely be the Aces and the Storm. We talked about it last week that we both thought that series was going to go 3 games. Mm-hmm. I think we both picked the Aces.
We both picked the Aces.
Yeah, and then we also thought that the Fever and the Sun series could go 3 games. But I thought if Fever were going to win 1 game, it was going to be that game 1.
Yeah, I thought they were going to steal game 1 too.
And game 2 was actually closer.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised that Phoenix got swept.
But Mabry went off, bro.
Look.
She hit that 3 at the end of game 1 and was like, yeah.
And then she hit that 3-pointer just inside a minute to make it a 4-point game in game 2, and that was kind of the early dagger.
Yeah.
It's crazy seeing her and Dejanay Carrington getting along. It's pretty cool.
I know. Dejanay walked up to her and did the mellow thing to her, poked her head. I was like, this is funny.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is. It is awesome to see that. I'm glad they're cool. And that was the big worry. I said, this Mabry thing is going to be the best thing that happened to the Sun. They just have to figure out the beef between Dejanay. And if they're going to start over each other, what's going to happen there? And if anything, Ty Harris getting a concussion, and now Mabry and Dejanay had to start together.
No, wasn't her ankle?
Is her ankle?
Didn't she hurt her ankle?
It was her ankle? It wasn't.
I
Who
thought
had the concussion?
Ezzy Magbegor had the concussion. She was out.
Ezzy had the. Oh my God! Do I have a concussion?
I don't know. She was out for game 1, and then she played in game 2 of that.
You're right. It was Ezzy. Because I'm trying to think who. Because there was 2 people injured for round 1. Yeah, it was Ezzy with the concussion, Ty Harris with the ankle.
Yeah, she had like 3 or 4 minutes into the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And then she never returned, and then she didn't play in game 2. But yeah, like you said, it worked out pretty well. I mean, it didn't affect them too. I mean, I think it's easy to get Taisha Harris back. I still like maybe.
We did have to go deeper into the bench. They played Udoda. They did a bunch of things like that.
Veronica Burton has played really well.
And Veronica Burton plays defense, and she doesn't really demand the ball either.
Yeah, since the Olympic break, and she hit a couple of threes.
Did you see the one that hit the top of the backboard, though?
Mm-hmm.
That was I swear to God, I think everybody in the arena, everybody in general was just like, yo, like.
Her shot isn't pretty. Her shot isn't pretty, though.
Not at all. And when it hit the top of the backboard, I was like, oh my God, stop the game. Stop the game. Like, why did this just happen?
Need a 10-minute.
I was so upset. I'm like, come on, Burton. It took the life out of everything. Everyone's like the opposing team, everyone's looking around like she's a WNBA player. She's at the top of the backboard on a 3. What the fuck just happened? It was like a glitch. I don't know how she shot that high in the air to just it didn't just bounce off the rim and go to the top. She shot it and it hit the top of the backboard.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, I don't know where she thought she was on the court, but she chucked it up.
But she made half of her shots.
Yeah, she did. She did. But that 3 just burned a little thing in my head, and that's all I could think of when I think of Veronica Burton right now.
Etched in your memory.
Etched in my memory forever. And I was advocating for Veronica Burton when she first got drafted. I'm like, her grandpa was drafted by the Patriots.
Yeah. Now after one shot, you turn on her.
After one shot, I'm out.
even after she shoots 50%, scores double figures, her team wins the series.
I know. But nah, the shot was just so bad I had to mention it. She's played great, though. Great defender, smart player, and she's not really forcing it for the most part. So that's why I like her. I want the ball in Alyssa Thomas's hands more than ever, especially with Ty Harris out. And we've seen that. She had, 13 assists last game or something?
Yeah, it was up there. And I knew it was a problem when Thomas was hitting those little push shots, those mid-range shots that are hideous. I knew it was going to be a problem for the Fever. For them to try and win that game when she was hitting those shots in the second half, I was like, bro.
Yeah. Once Alyssa Thomas starts doing her little 8-foot push shots, know that paint is Swiss cheese. Yeah,
but and they were giving her like they always do. They gave her the Ben Simmons treatment. They give her all the space in the world.
Yeah.
They don't really want her, to drive, but
that's the part that they mess up with Alyssa Thomas. You let her get a full she's called the engine. Mm-hmm. You can't let her get a full steam ahead. You can't let her build that up. She's literally called the engine, and you're giving her runway.
And then she has that spin move.
That's what I'm saying. She's going to drive dumb hard one way, and you're either strong enough to stop her, or she's just going to spin on you.
Yep.
So she's going to blow by you. If you do put up a fight, it's a foul, or if you overcommit, it's the spin. She's beat you 3 ways every time. No matter what, Alyssa Thomas will beat you.
And she knocks down 2 to 3 people every game.
Yeah.
Not even off the spin move, but when she drives, she'll just kind of, do he's a little chicken wing for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And then she kind of gets away with it because I don't know if the players sell it, but she's pretty strong too. I can see her knocking down a lot of people, not off flopping, just knocking them down because she's that strong.
And I was listening to Angel Reese's podcast. I don't know if you're gonna get too into it.
Never.
I had to give it a shot. I got to hear what she's got to talk about.
I don't care.
So she had Cheryl Swoops on.
Mm-hmm. I saw that.
Funny as hell because her whole thing is like, I don't care about Caitlin. It's nothing. Her first episode was basically titled Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
It had her full name in the title of the number 1 episode. Her first episode was based on Caitlin Clark.
Yep.
And then she brings on her ultimate hater, episode 4, Cheryl Swoops.
And she's still talking about Caitlin Clark.
And then they talk about Caitlin Clark and the whole situation basically the whole time. They talk about a few other things here or there. But that's kind of the premise of it. That's the whole idea, is they brought you in here to talk about Caitlin Clark and Cheryl Swoops. It was interesting to hear it. But during the pod, Angel Reese said something that, like, her welcome to the league moment, and she felt like she was being bullied by Alyssa Thomas and everything. And
I think a lot of players probably feel like that.
And it's not personal. I think that's what they're missing. She's like, she was treating me like a rook and all that. Like, no, Alyssa Thomas elbows everyone in the chest.
Yeah, no, Alyssa Thomas is just a dog.
She's just a dog. Like, you're going to get an elbow to the chest because you're on the court. It's not about you, Angel Reese. It's not about your lashes. It's not about you being a rookie. It's not about you winning national championships and people are scared of you in the league. It's not about nothing. Everybody catches the elbow to the chest when you face Alyssa Thomas.
Can I just say she's not even the best rookie on her team?
Ooh.
Not even the best rookie on her team, and we talk about her.
She did lead the league in rebounds at 13.1.
Yeah, and she led the league in missed shots from 2 feet or closer, probably, too.
She did lead the league in missed shots from 2 feet or closer.
Okay, I'm never going to agree with you on this until she starts making layups.
Yeah, I know. She shot like 30% from the field. It's going to be hard. She does have some things to complement Cardozo, though. So I like what you're saying here with Cardozo being the best rookie or the better rookie. For one, she was drafted ahead of Angel Reese, right? Cardozo was picked, what, 2nd or 3rd?
Yeah, she was picked pretty high. Yeah, she was definitely picked higher than Reese.
I think it was the 3rd pick because it went Caitlin Clark, Cameron Brink.
Yeah. And then it must have been Cardozo.
Cardozo and then Rakia?
Yeah, and also Rakia.
Or did Rakia go 2?
I thought Brink went 2.
Yeah, Brink went 2. All right, I'm remembering this properly. In my head, I'm like...
I could be wrong. I thought Brink went 2, though.
I feel like Zach Galifianakis when he has that moment in, you know what I'm saying?
Lining everything up.
Yeah, the numbers are all aligning, and I'm like thinking, what happened? But yeah, I mean, the draft spoke for it. The Chicago Sky think Cardozo is the better rookie or the better player. So they drafted her, and they spoke with their draft pick, and they had a 2nd pick, and at 7, they drafted Angel Reese. The one thing about Angel Reese that I really like with Cardozo is their high-low passing. I think Angel Reese is a very good post-entry passer.
I will say
she knows where Cardozo wants it. She's a post. She gets it, and I like that about her. She is unironically unselfish.
I will give her credit for that. She is a great passer, and she's been like that since LSU.
Yeah, great passer. She likes to operate from the elbow, kind of like how Asia plays now, but she just doesn't have a bag from the elbow. That's the problem.
Yeah, she doesn't have any kind of real post move. She doesn't have a mid-range jumper. She's not a terrible free throw shooter, though. I think she shoots like 70-something% from the free throw line, but and they give her all the space. I mean, she took enough mid-range jumpers, but she doesn't have much success from there.
They're very flat.
Yeah, her shot is weird.
She has a very weird shot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the problem. I don't know what it is, because when she shoots the free throw, it looks a little bit better. But maybe just catching it off the bounce or whatever it is with the live ball, that she just kind of like stiffens up, doesn't use her legs as much, and using a little bit too much arm.
Yeah.
Because, it just comes out flat.
I mean, and you can't shoot the basketball with your arms. You gotta put your legs in it.
Right, you got to put your legs in it, and I think when she shoots her free throws, she does get square, and she gets her legs into it good. Her form looks great, over 70%. That's acceptable from a big. So I think that's what it is. She could set her feet, get her feet right a little bit better, and maybe just not mess with Jalen Duren because he's not going to add a midi.
Yeah.
He's not going to teach you the midi.
He's got nothing to his offensive game except offensive.
He has less to his bag than Reese.
He's got offensive rebounding. He does. They both. It's crazy. They're both really good offensive rebounders.
They're the same player.
So wild. They both are terrible teams, and they're great offensive rebounders with no offensive bag. It's so weird.
It is. It's very weird. But it's true. It just is what it is. Yeah. What I really wish would be, Cam Thomas teaches her the midi.
God, Cam Thomas teaches her the midi. She might y'all trying to make some of those moves he makes.
She might take over the league.
She really might. I might have to become an Angel Reese fan.
If you just start to see Angel Reese at the top of the key, double moves, bing, 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 bing.
Or she starts, on the, looking away from the basket, then turns and shoots or whatever he does. I might have a heart attack.
I might too. The funniest thing about it is Angel Reese and Cam Thomas are the same height.
That is pretty wild.
They're both 6'3", and it just shows the dichotomy between the men's league and the women's league.
Yeah.
Cam Thomas is ruled too small to play basketball. They say he's a combo guard. He can't defend. 6'3", he's too small. Can't be a defender. You got Angel Reese, 6'3", and she's a big.
Or you look at A'ja Wilson, she's 6'5". She wouldn't even be a power forward in the league.
I know.
It's crazy. Or
Tim Hardaway Jr. is 6'5", and honestly, I think Asia's 6'4".
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Breanna Stewart's listed as 6'4", too. I know that. I think Wilson's listed.
Stewie's taller than A'ja, or I don't know. Something about it. A'ja's not 6'5". She looks 6'4" to me.
Because usually I see it that Stewie's listed as 6'4" and Asia's listed as 6'5". But I don't know.
But you can look around on different websites. They have A'ja 6'5" in some spots, 6'4" in others.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows what it really is? But I just know that she just doesn't look that big at 6'5". When you see her next to Jonquel, it looks like a big difference. And Jonquel's 6'6".
Well, I think Jonquel's also thicker too. I mean, she's a little wider.
Yeah.
That she's out of shape, but I'm saying she's just a little bit more built than A'ja Wilson is.
Right. But
so maybe that does something.
When they're next to each other, I always see. I even have it like written here. I'm talking about A'ja later. 6'4", 6'4", 195, lefty.
Cardoso's a giant. She's like 6. What is she? 6'6", 6'7".
See, look. It says she's 6'4" here.
Oh.
Let me stream it.
I don't know where I read it. I read it.
No, I know what you're talking about because I see places where they say A'ja Wilson is 6'5".
Because I think I've seen it on ESPN.
Right here, height 6'4". You go to like Basketball Reference, 6'4", 195.
Oh yeah, on ESPN they list her as 6'4". I thought I seen on ESPN she was listed as 6'5", so I was wrong.
I've seen her 6'5" in places. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just want to make sure that we're not saying she's 6'5" out here.
Whatever.
She does have a little bit of being a tweener, Oh, Candace Parker also was taller than her last year.
I thought Candace Parker was short. I thought Candace Parker was 6'3".
No, Candace Parker's like 6'5".
Yeah, I don't know.
She's huge.
I don't know ball.
Candace Parker is huge. She was the tallest player on her team, and she was the point guard when she came in.
So lanky. She's listed as 6'4" on Basketball Reference.
She was 6'5" the whole time when I was a kid.
So she's shrunk, I guess.
She's shrunk.
She's got scoliosis or something. I don't know.
But A'ja Wilson, I swear she came into the league listed 6'3", 6'4", and then all of a sudden she became a 6'5" giant.
I guess she's growing at whatever.
She's growing, but then now she's back to 6'4". They keep messing with us. They really do. What do they call it? The Mandela effect, where things change and some people have memory of a different thing and some people have memory of another thing. It's like the Berenstain Bears. Everyone remembers it, the Berenstain Bears, And
or I just
now
don't,
if you look back at the books, it's written Berenstain,
or we just don't follow basketball, I guess.
or we just don't follow basketball. But no, I could swear on my grave that Candace Parker was 6'5".
I thought for some reason she was 6'3", so I don't know what sites we're looking at. I don't know
Yeah,
what.
I don't know. We're on two separate ends of this. But what else did I have?
But what do you got for the series, the prediction?
Oh, the series? All right, so I want the Sun to win. I'll tell you that. So
How many?
just as a fan, I'm going to say that. I'm kind of nervous about the math because the Lynx just, like I said, they put up too much threes. Though they did have a problem when the Mercury really turned it on.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't stop Griner, even though she barely even looked like she was trying. She was making everything.
In game 2.
Yeah, in game 2. I just don't know if they got it.
The Sun or the Lynx?
The Lynx, like the 3-pointers have been crazy. Bridget Carlton's knocking them down. Kayla McBride's knocking them down. Heidemann's coming off the bench doing shit. Like everybody. Elena Smith, she's doing things. Everybody on the squad can contribute. The only thing that I have that raises a flag for me is like, can they handle Brianna Jones on the block?
Yeah, I mean that's going to be.
You know, can Fee chase around Bonner and create problems for Bonner? Because she just won Defensive Player of the Year, though I think Asia Wilson should have won it.
I thought Dejanay Carrington was up there too.
She won MIP, so I guess like
she shouldn't have won MIP. That's ridiculous. She was more deserving of
six man last year.
Well, she was more deserving of Defensive Player of the Year than she was of MIP this season.
Okay, I can respect that because I think MIP should have went to Kennedy Carter or Hamby.
The only thing, I don't know if they took into account that Carter didn't play in the WNBA last season, so I don't know if that was part of the reason as to why they didn't do it. That would be my guess.
Wouldn't that even be more of a reason that this girl was out of the league and then came back and averaged almost 20 a game?
Yeah, but that would be the only reason that made sense to me, because to me it should have been unanimous. It wasn't even. It
really should have been unanimously Kennedy Carter.
And I thought, Hamby was definitely in the conversation. I thought you could have put Taisha Harris and Bridget Carlton in the top 5. I thought they should have gotten some votes. I didn't think they definitely shouldn't have won it, but I'm saying they should have been, talked about as, players that improved quite a bit. But
Harris, I mean, she led the league in 3-point percentage last year.
Mm-hmm.
She did go down a little bit. Obviously, she was shooting like 50%. Anybody would go down. But I don't know. I think it really should have been Kennedy Carter. And that sticks with me because she came in there and busted ass. Didn't shoot no threes and averaged 20 a game. Asia Wilson shoots more threes a game than Kennedy Carter. Asia Wilson shoots like 1.5. And I think Kennedy Carter doesn't even shoot 1 a game. I think it's like 0.8.
Yeah, it's just straight middies and layups for her.
Middies and layups, and she's 5'8", 5'9". Kennedy Carter is so small. She kind of reminds me of Tweety. If I don't know if you know, what's her name? Deanna Nolan back in the day. She was about 5'9". Crazy athlete, crazy handle and jumper and everything else. She dropped 40 multiple times in the W. She kind of reminds me of that. Tweety was a crazy athlete. Used to pin shit off the backboard at 5'9". And that's Kennedy Carter was doing stuff like that this year. Crazy blocks. Who did she block that was nuts this year? She blocked a big where I was like, what?
Oh, she blocked Lee. Didn't she block Lee?
She blocked Lee Yuru. That's who it was. I knew it was someone 6'7" or taller.
That was a clean block, too.
Clean block, and she's 5'9". She really went up there. Boop. Got it out of there. Gotta love Kennedy Carter. So I'm going to give her all the shout-outs in the world. Kennedy Carter deserved MIP. I love Dejanay Carrington. I love the Sun. It's my favorite team. I'm sorry. She didn't deserve that. If any, like I said, she deserved 6th man of the year last year, 6th player of the year. This year, potentially MIP.
But for Carrington, her points went up 8.3 to 12.7. her field goal percentage went down 41.7 to 40.3. Her 3-point percentage plummeted 37.1 to 25%. And she's attempting, let's see, she's attempting 0.8 more 3-point attempts this season.
That's why she's not MIP to me.
Went down over 12%.
She did play like as a better player. She had better feel for the game. She had more fluidity, higher IQ than ever. She definitely showed all of those things. Her shooting efficiency went down because she was doing new roles. She was shooting off the bounce now. She was trying to create rather than just catch set shots and do the easy work coming off the bench and things like that. Like now she's starting and she has to do all of the hardest things against the best players. She's not facing bench units.
And she missed she still misses so many layups.
Yeah, Carrington, she does blow some layups.
But I mean, a lot of her other numbers she moved up on. The rebounds 2.9 to 5, assists 1.3 to 1.6, steals went from 0.6 to 1.6, and blocks went from 0.1 to 0.4. So she did improve on quite a bit. But
yeah, she put her all out there for defense. But I mean, she went from guarding, Ari McDonald's to now she's guarding Jackie Young, and that's what the difference is. Now Jackie Young is also guarding you.
Yeah,
you're not busting the backup point guard's ass anymore. You're guarding and being guarded by their lead point guard, and that's what happens. Her efficiency goes down. Better defenders, better competition. Though she played great defense and gave it her all against the best competition as well. So, Defensive Player of the Year makes a lot more sense than MIP to me. I feel like she went down in too many metrics to say she's the most improved.
Right.
And so, for me, Kennedy Carter. I like the nods to Bridget Carlton, Ty Harris. Hamby did pretty well up until the Olympic break, and then she stunk in the Olympics, and then came back, and Azare outplayed her for a little while.
And in the last 3 or 4 games, she played really well.
And then in the last 3 or 4 games when it really didn't matter and people were benching their starters and people were just out for the rest of the season, random injuries of illness. What's her name? Tiffany Mitchell has been illness for like 2 months for the Sun.
They said she had sepsis or something.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
I didn't even see what she was sick from. When you go on ESPN, it just keeps saying illness.
Yeah, I thought I seen something about that.
God bless her. God damn, man.
But for Carrington, her first 3 seasons, she started 3 games. This season, she started all 39. So that just shows you that obviously they like her in that starting role.
Right.
E-piece.
The only game she didn't start, she 39 out of 40, was when Mabry got traded there and they just threw her in the starting lineup the next game.
No, she missed that game. She missed one of those games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Mabry got put into the starting lineup as soon as she got traded, she started, and then Dejanay became the starter the next game, back to playing that role. But yeah, that's the only game she missed was the game when Mabry got traded there, which was kind of weird. But
if you look at Carter, points 8.9 to 17.5, field goal percentage 45 to 48.7%. Even though she doesn't attempt a lot of 3-pointers, 20% to 29%, so still a pretty big jump there. Free throw percentage went down a little bit, 74.5 to 73. Rebounds 1.9 to 3.5, assists 1.9 to 3.1, steals 0.6 to 1.1. So it's just
there isn't a reason why she didn't win MIP.
And she finished 4th.
It's ridiculous. I don't know who votes on these things. I don't know what it is. But
they had Bridget Carlton ahead of her. That's shocking.
Right? Like, I don't care if she's on like a losing team. It's not really her fault.
And who is saying, in what world is Sabrina Ionescu tied 5th for MIP? She had a down year this year. Her numbers went down. Her percentages went down. Her field goal percentage and her 3-point percentage went down this season.
It just shows that people don't watch at all or don't really care or shouldn't have their vote.
I mean, Harris should be in that somewhere in the top 5. That's just baffling to me.
Yeah.
I don't get it at all.
If anything, you could even say Tina Charles could have got it because statistically she improved so much.
Right.
There's so many more people who improved statistics on almost every level than what Dejanay did. Though Dejanay did improve in a lot of ways, I just don't think she made that big of a leap that Kennedy did. Kennedy won MVP in China and then came here after a year of free agency and busted ass.
Yeah, I think you should have gone with Carter or Hamby. Going with Hamby wouldn't have been bad either.
But
because she was,
the two people right now who are being blackballed by the league, Hamby because of the pregnancy thing with the Aces that they've covered up for years. They don't want to talk about it. And then 2, Kennedy Carter with the whole shoving Caitlin Clark and all the nonsense that came from that.
instead of talking about her game.
Instead of talking about her game, they don't want to talk about Kennedy Carter in a good light in the public. They don't want to, when it comes to awards, and they got to give Caitlin Clark and Kennedy Carter an award. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't want that. The image, the comments online, everything involved, they don't want a part of. And it's only happening to these two players. And I think that's what it is. That's my opinion. Call me a conspiracy theorist. Call me whatever. But typically, when you get called a conspiracy theorist, it means in 12 months you'll be right. Because with time, the truth comes out. And we all eventually know the truth. And the conspiracy theorists typically are just ahead of the curve. So I would say Kennedy Carter is my MIP. The only MIP I acknowledge.
Yeah, she'd be my MIP, but if they gave Hamby the award, I wouldn't be mad at it either.
Most definitely, because before the Olympic break, Hamby was damn near, I thought, should have been in like MVP talks.
Yeah.
She was a top 10 player in the league.
She was.
And I don't know, like I can't ignore that. So having her not give votes is crazy.
Right.
And then to say Ionescu, as if she's some like up and coming player trying hard and doing her best and overachieving. What the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, so whatever with that. But DPOY, let me just read you off some stats from Asia Wilson for DPOY. First in rebounds, first in total defensive rebounds, by the way, 372.
Yep.
And first in defensive win shares, third in steals.
As a big,
third in steals, 1.8 per game.
Yep.
First in blocks.
Do that.
2.6 per game, 98 total, so almost 100 blocks in the season in 40 games. And then, also, I looked at her per 48. Have you ever looked at Asia Wilson's per 48 numbers? Like if she played like NBA minutes?
What would she average? Like 40?
Oh my God. 37.5 points, 16.5 rebounds, 3.2 assists, 2.3 steals, 4 blocks, and listen to this. This is the best one. 1.8 turnovers. So even if you completely blow up and increase her stats to 48 minutes worth of stats, she still doesn't even turn the rock over two times a game.
So efficient.
Super efficient. So she could average 40 and still keep that under two turnovers. Sonny
agrees. I don't know.
Sonny gets revved up when I start talking about Asia Wilson.
Maybe he doesn't.
Every time.
Maybe he doesn't agree with your Wilson stance. I don't know.
Yeah, he's in the Fisa Collier guy.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him for 59 minutes, and now he's yapping.
Yep, that's what it is right there. It's when we start talking about Asia, he gets really worked up because he thinks Fee should have won MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, unanimous, the Commissioner's Cup, Finals MVP, the Finals. He's a big Lynx guy.
You mean Nafisa Collier?
Oh yeah! Shout out to Sirit Sohi, my favorite player in the whole world, Nafisa Collier.
Nafisa Collier.
Man, fuck Sirit Sohi, man. I don't care, bro. That's egregious. That's actually egregious that people can do that and get away with it.
All right, so who do you got in the Sun and Lynx series? What's going to be?
The Lynx are a cat, right? That makes sense why Sonny likes the Lynx.
He made the connection.
He did. He made the connection. He said Fee she's a lynx. She's a cat.
See, he knows what's up.
Oh my God, the Collier.
All right, so
You're getting my blood boiling. Change the subject.
Sun and the Lynx. Talk about
the Lynx. Well, what I think is actually going to happen, right? We got Heidemann coming back against the Sun.
Mm-hmm.
You got Courtney Williams ready to go at the point.
Yep.
Kayla McBride's having her best season in a few years. Now that they're actually winning, you see what she contributes.
Yep.
She's a very important player. I think she even got an MVP vote.
Yeah, she was for whatever reason, but yeah.
For whatever reason, but she played incredible this year. So I'm not going to say like she don't deserve shit, but she
doesn't deserve any MVP award in any top 5.
Well, clearly, I don't think she deserves MVP because Fee is the better player on her team. So clearly, it should go to Fee every time.
Yeah.
But McBride playing out of her mind, Bridget Carleton coming from Canada, no one really even knowing what she could do, to averaging over 10 points a game and being a deadly 3-point shooter. She's even hitting deep threes. She hit a deep three in the playoffs.
And she's hitting clutch threes.
Clutch threes, bro, from like 10 feet back. Like far. She hit that clutch one. So you got Bridget Carleton doing that. Then you got Elena Smith going off doing her thing. You got bigs all over. And, of course, Fee. I also love they got Peely. Peely even came off the bench a few times going off. The team's good.
So you're going with who?
I'm going with the Sun.
And how many games?
I respect them, so I'm going to say the Sun in 5.
Sun in 5. I'm taking the Lynx in 4.
Lynx in 4? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to say Sun in 5. The scoring of the Lynx scares the hell out of me. I think they're going to win a game or two. That's guaranteed. They're going to hit shots. They are a math problem. They shoot way more threes than anybody else in the league. So if they get hot one night, it's a wrap. You can't keep up with them.
And who were our finals predictions from last week before the quarterfinals began? I think I took the Aces. No, I took the Liberty and the Lynx to make it, right?
Liberty Lynx, that's what you said, yeah.
I got to stick with it. But honestly,
I think I said Sun Liberty.
You said Sun Liberty, okay.
I think that's what I said.
The way the Aces looked in the quarterfinals, they look like the old Aces. They don't look like they look like from the regular season. So I don't know. I feel like I don't want to change my pick. So I'm going to take Liberty in 5. I'll take Lynx in 4, Liberty in 5, and then I'll take the Liberty to win the finals. But man, I wouldn't be surprised if the Aces won the series in 5 games. Because the way they look like that old team. And that's what I was talking about earlier in the season. Those teams that can flip the switch.
Yeah.
And it was only 2 games, but I thought it was a really difficult matchup for them against Storm. With all the experience they have in the postseason, and you have players on that team that have won championships, and they made it look the way they did, and I don't know, kind of worries me, but I'll stick with the Liberty in 5.
Liberty in 5, okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go. Ooh, this is tough. Well, I want Sun Liberty. I want the Sun to win. I really do. I just don't know if they are. I think Febich is the part that sets the Liberty, apart from the competition this year. He's
a better rookie than Angel Reese too.
If you put Febich, if you let Febich play the 4 in Chicago, holy shit!
Lights out from 3, sharp.
Her and Cardozo. Imagine her at the 4 and she's stretching it, and then just dumping it down to Cardozo whenever she wants. Yep. Oh, my God. That type of spacing would be insane. So I think people are kind of missing the Leone Febich part. Kennedy Burke ain't no scrub. We already know Kayla Thornton's there as a good wing, off the bench, being a good defender. There's a lot of options.
And now Vandersloot is your backup point guard. And they've had her coming off the bench for those 2 postseason games. So
yeah, she's not the defender she was. And she had some things. I think she lost her mom halfway through the season. Yeah. She was out for a little bit. And I just think she's in a different part of her career now, and she's older.
Yeah.
Let's see how old Courtney Vandersloot is.
She's in her late 30s by now.
"35." She was born in the 80s. So she's getting older. You know, she can't defend Jackie Young the way she used to.
Right.
Straight up. So she's coming off the bench, and now she's probably playing against Sydney Colson. You know, that's a little bit easier for Sloot. Sydney ain't no joke either. Sydney's old. She's like 38. But
Sydney had Sabrina thrown up in the trash can last year.
bro, Sydney got the handle. I love Sydney Colson.
Sydney's nice though. Sydney's nice.
Sydney's real nice.
She's funny as hell, but she's nice on the court. She's a good pass well. I like Colson.
Me too. I like Colson. Shout out to Colson. But yeah, I think it's Liberty win this. I already told you the Aces are in silver now. They changed their uniform. They changed their team colors. They're black and silver. They're trying to match the Raiders because Mark Davis owns the Aces, from what I remember. And he's trying to basically match the teams. And so the Raiders are black and silver. Now the Aces are black and silver instead of black, red, and gold.
But wouldn't they have to lose in the finals because that's second place and silver gets second place? So wouldn't the Aces have to make the finals and then lose to the Sun or lose to the Sun or the Lynx? Wouldn't that make
a little more sense?
That's second place. Silver, second place.
Silver, second place. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like
regardless, it's the losing color. It's not gold.
I know, but by your logic, they have to make the finals now. So they have to.
Yeah, it could be. Maybe they do make the finals and then lose. So maybe it's Aces Sun.
Yeah.
That would be interesting, and I think it would throw a lot of bettors off as well. Because I think a lot of people are betting this Aces versus Liberty series. And then I think everybody, for the most part, is probably all in on the Lynx on the betting side.
Yeah, if it's Aces and Sun, I'm taking the Aces again. The Aces and Lynx series would be more interesting to me.
Yeah.
I think the Lynx would give the Aces a little bit more problems, but
it would be cool to see what Mabry could do against the Aces in the finals.
Right.
Because Mabry's been hot. She's been our leading scorer since the trade. I just hate to say I told you so.
There's gonna be a lot of talk in that series if it happens.
Right. It's gonna be a lot of shit talking. So
Carrington, Plum, a lot of talk.
Right, Carrington, Plum, Mabry, shit. Asia could talk her shit too. So it'll be an interesting series.
Yeah.
I'm watching regardless. Let's just say that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, so I'm going to be locked in. That's all I know. I'm locked in. Oh, yeah, and then you got to remember the Lynx, too, made a big move, trading for Maisha Hines-Allen.
She's been great off the bench.
She has.
Bench.
Way better than on the Mystics. I feel like she just didn't have that drive anymore. She was on a scrub team. She would just kind of go out there.
Yeah, we were talking about situations earlier. When you're in a better situation, you play better. When you're in a winning situation.
Yep. And I see that, especially with Hines-Allen. Because, man, I was like, is this her last season in the W? She really just doesn't look like she cares anymore on the Mystics. She's overpaid, under-delivering. I don't think she has much of a long-lasting career anymore. Like, I just think it's over after this year. She gets traded. Now she's busting her ass. She's doing what she could do. And even if you have Fee now if Fee gets hurt or has a game off or foul trouble, you put in Maisha Hines-Allen and you're still fine.
Right.
The rest of the team's still shooting, and Hines-Allen fills all the gaps and is a great four.
Definitely.
So, yeah, I think that the team is like Teflon right now. Like, I don't think you could beat them. It's going to be pretty hard to pierce. But you got even Dorka Juhas. Like, everybody on this squad.
They got probably the best bench out of whoever's left now.
Yeah.
Out of the 4 teams left in the postseason.
Mm-hmm. Zandalasini gets minutes. Like, they have Diamond Miller and she doesn't even play.
Right.
I think they cut Ipupa.
Oh yeah, because they traded. I think she was part of the Mystics trade, but then
Yeah.
waived, and then I think they signed her back.
Oh, they signed her back.
I thought
I don't
something.
think in the NBA you can't do that. You can't trade somebody and them get cut and then you re-sign them. I think there has to be like a middle team.
Oh, maybe it was something else then, because I saw she was part of that Maisha Hines Allen trade.
Yeah, but it looks like she's back on the roster.
Oh yeah, so maybe she did sign back, or they signed her back.
It's like an infinite trade glitch.
Hmm.
Trade a Poopa, they cut her. You get a Poopa back. Trade a Poopa to a different team, they cut her. You just re-sign a Poopa. You just use her as a trade chip.
It's working.
Right? It seems like it's working. They got Maisha Hines Allen for free and then got Poopa back.
Right?
Can't beat that. But what else do we got? Oh, the UFC Fight Night last night.
Yep.
Did we say so? I'm just gonna say it. I'm going Sun to win the championship. I don't give a fuck. Sun for the ring.
Yeah, I'll say Liberty. Liberty and Lynx in the finals. I'm gonna wait, see how they're looking when we get there.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta see what's up with the matchups and everything, and who's healthy, who's not, how they played in the previous series. But yeah, I'll say Liberty and Lynx in the final.
Okay. All right. I'm going Homer fan right now, but I'm gonna say the Sun. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. Sun, and hopefully the Sun win in less than 5 against the Lynx. But I think this will be the hardest matchup.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, if we beat the Lynx, that proves that we have enough offense to keep up with anybody else.
And
that's the way I see it.
That's kind of the question with Connecticut is their offense.
Right. Is Bonner going to be able to stay hot? You know, like sometimes Bonner goes through her little weird streaks where she stops shooting. She starts being very passive. She gets like 9 points a game in those games. And that's not what you need from Bonner. You need Bonner to be KD. Yeah. You don't need Bonner to be a role player.
And is Mabry going to keep cooking off the bench?
Right. Or starting, because let's see if Ty Harris is now the bench point guard.
I haven't heard a lot on. I don't know if she's starting. I guess we'll find out in a few hours if she's back or not yet.
Yeah. I remember she did. You're right. She did land weird.
Yeah.
It was like I think she was on offense and she landed weird. If I'm remembering this right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Poor Ty Harris, man. But UFC Fight Night was pretty interesting. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Just to finish up with we did talk some NBA as well. I had 2 side notes. Jose Alvarado got an extension, 2-year, $9 million. And then Jahlil Okafor is coming back from the BSN, the Puerto Rico League.
Yeah, I seen that.
He's going to the Pacers.
I seen that, yep.
Shout out to Jahlil Okafor from the Puerto Rican League.
Another great draft pick by the 76ers.
Right? They really know how to pick them.
They know how to pick their bigs.
They do. So we can start. I guess we started our predictions last time on Cutelaba.
Oh.
And I picked Cutelaba for the dub.
Oh. Man.
And he won in every, aspect of it. He had more takedowns, more takedown attempts, more strikes, more volume, more connections, more significant strikes. Like, he dominated.
And I thought Urslan was a little bit more active in the first round. But as far as, the power shots, I thought it was Cutelaba all night. Because Urslan was connecting on his strikes in the first round, but it wasn't really knocking Cutelaba back. Every time Cutelaba connected on his chin, he was moving back, or he looked stunned for a second.
Right.
And then started grappling with him and taking him down. And Urslan had no answer for that either.
Yeah, Urslan looked like he was fighting for his life, and then Cutelaba looked like he was sparring.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they did look like it was 2 different levels of competition.
Yeah, and Cutelaba was kind of more laid back in this one. He didn't fight like as much of an idiot as he usually does.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty big reason as to why he won, too.
Right, and he was less aggressive and won in every aspect.
Yep.
Didn't do too much and still was the better fighter and had more volume, more efficiency, more takedowns. So I think that's the way Cutelaba's got to take it from now on. Take a step back. You don't got to be in every firefight. And that's what fucked up Cody Garbrandt. That's what fucked up Anthony Smith for a little bit. Got too big for their britches, started, fighting in a phone booth and getting fucked up.
Especially Garbrandt.
Especially Garbrandt. But I'll never forget that time where he fought Dominic Cruz for 5 rounds and schooled the champion. Yep. That's how you beat the champ. Like, if you ever want a definition of you got to beat the champ to be the champ, was that fight.
And he was like, no, I want to fight like that again.
He was dancing on him. He was like, hey, he would two-piece him and then hit a little dance move. Like, he was doing the craziest, most disrespectful shit. The way he was dodging the punches, man, Garbrandt was something else. But that's what it is. Too much confidence, not enough discipline in your fight style, and you get sloppy.
Yep.
But anyway, let's move on to Zaim versus Frivola. Oh, man, when he had him against the cage, did the jumping knee.
Yeah. And it was – you could the difference right away. Frivola was trying to throw these big power punches, and he was just way – I think it was a 4-inch reach advantage.
Yeah.
He just kept trying to throw bombs in that first round, and then eventually was able to take him down and control him for a little bit in that first round. But, man, it did not look good for Frivola.
No.
Because he would miss whiff so badly on his punches.
Yeah, he was missing bad on the punches, but also he was having problems with on the ground. And they were saying, Frivola's got a big old blockhead. He's going to get in a headlock. One of the commentators said it. I don't know if it was Anik or who it was, but they were like, he's going to choke him out with his blockhead.
Could have been Bisping.
Could have been Bisping calling him a blockhead. It was kind of funny.
Sounds like something Bisping would say.
It does. And then there was I already know this. I'll tell you guys this. This is a betting tip. If you ever see a UFC fighter with a curled mustache, he's getting knocked out.
Eddie Wineland. Cub Swanson got slept.
Every time you curl your mustache, you get slept. It's a promise. Sugar Sean, remember he slept the dude with the curl mustache?
Eddie Wineland. That's Eddie Wineland.
Eddie Wineland, yeah. I'm just for the viewership that doesn't know who Eddie Wineland is.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was Eddie Wineland.
The guy with the curled mustache. I'm telling you, if you step into the ring with a curled mustache, I have certain betting tips, certain things I live by. If
that's one of them.
If a fighter says they've soaked their hands in gasoline before the fight, that means it's a first-round knockout. There's certain things you have to stay hip to. If a fighter is telling you he's going for the knockout, he's going to lose the decision.
And he's probably going to try and take you down.
Yes.
He's not going to say. He's going to.
If you say, I'm going to knock this guy out, you're getting taken down. You're losing the takedown battle. There's certain things, I'm telling you. I don't know if this, genuinely, I don't know if this is a UFC script or something that I just caught on to, or maybe it's a mentality thing that people say specific things or do specific things when they feel they have good matchups or whatever. But I'm telling you, the curled mustache means he's getting slept every time.
No bueno.
I haven't been wrong, and I called it again. Curled mustache means he's getting slept. And what happened? He got slept. He got slept.
That was rough.
Third curled mustache call.
Third curled mustache.
This is the third curled mustache that has gotten slept on the same call. So that's all I'm saying.
Bet the house on the curled mustache.
Well, for him to lose.
Yeah, for him to lose.
And yeah, so, I mean, that was a good punch, but I don't even know how to say Cherry.
Yeah, that's.
How do you say his name? I didn't know how they said it on the UFC call.
Yeah, we'll stick with that.
We'll stick with that. But Morgan straight slapped him. Solid hit. So good for him. I didn't know too much about these guys prior to the fight. I've seen Morgan fight before once, but didn't really have too much. The fight I was excited for was the Bryan Battle fight. So I've been watching Bryan Battle probably 6 fights now in the UFC, all the way back to when he had like really long hair. Now he's got a buzz cut and bleach blonde.
Because he was on the Ultimate Fighter, I think.
Yeah, that's where I started seeing him, was on the Ultimate Fighter.
Yep, that was the Volkanovski and Ortega season, I think.
Yes. Yep. And I liked Brian Battle ever since then. I thought the dude was a dog, punches hard as fuck, keeps the volume coming. He's got good cardio. I don't know. I like the way he fights. I really do. And he's been killing it. So shout out to Brian Battle. And I mean, last night, like he put a pounding on that dude in the second round. The first round was actually pretty competitive.
Yeah, I mean, his combinations were really clean, but I thought he was keeping his chin up because Battle was having bigger reactions when he was getting hit by the French guy.
Mm-hmm.
But then when Battle was hitting him, he was just kind of running through it and just eating him.
Jusay ain't no joke, though.
Yeah.
Jusay could fight. If you've ever watched him fight and stuff, like, he can scrap. I like his judo. He definitely's got a lot of, like, good grappling moves, ways to get people down. He holds leverage on the ground pretty well. But, yeah, the stand-up, I knew he wasn't going to have the stand-up with Brian Battle. He would have to beat him somewhere technically on the ground.
Yeah, and
or
Battle
somewhere in the grappling against the cage. That's where I seen Jusay having some success.
And Battle was still, throwing strikes in the first round, but he was kind of holding him up against the fence a lot in the first round, which was kind of weird. But I mean, it helped him win that first round too.
I know, but I thought like I said, I thought Jusay was going to have a good advantage against the cage and do some things, and he just didn't. So maybe this is a big statement for Brian Battle that he can do a little more and do some things. So he might be a top 10 fighter soon. We don't know if he'll stay in the top 10 or what he'll do, but doing that to Jusay is huge because he's like a stepping stone type guy. He's a gatekeeper. He's
Right.
at that level to where if you beat him, they'll probably throw one more gatekeeper at you who's kind of on the cusp, a fringe type guy like a fucking Neil Magny, something like that next. You fight a Brian Battle, fight Neil Magny or Jeff Neal, some random 170-pound guy that's like that, who's kind of like on the cusp, 18th ranked, basically. If there was an 18th ranked guy, he would be there. So that's where I see for Brian Battle next. What's his next test? And will he pass it? We'll see. But I like him. I think he's got some heart. And they put 2 chains on him after the fight.
And he was talking so much shit.
He was. I was kind of liking it. He was a good heel. I think that alone, what he did on the mic, I want to talk about that because that's going to push him.
Mm-hmm.
UFC is going to see that and go, we were going to put him against Gaethje, but let's throw him Neil Magny. I think he has a good story to be told. We could really have something fun going and then build a fight up to where he's talking shit with Sean Strickland now. Once he beats Magny, then everyone's like, okay, maybe he can be a top guy. Then you put him against Strickland, and then the build up to the fight is crazy because Battle's fucking talking shit back and not afraid of Strickland, Something like that could happen. And I think this is a good opportunity to build Battle.
So you move Battle up to middleweight? You move Battle up to middleweight against Strickland?
I don't know why I said Strickland. I thought about it after I said it, and I'm like, Strickland's 185. But anyway.
It would kind of be funny, though.
It would be interesting. But you get what I'm saying. Like, to get him matched up with another shit talker, someone like that, would be incredible.
Ian Gary.
Battle Gary. That would be fun. Because I think Gary would talk a lot of shit.
Well, he does
and
to
Battle
everybody.
would talk it back.
All right. Battle would win. Battle would win that exchange.
You think so?
As far as talking, at least, yeah.
Oh, in terms of talking, yeah.
In terms of talking, I think he'd win.
There's just something about Gary that is terrifying.
And now,
his size. He looks like a 200-pounder. He looks like he fights at 205. Every time he gets in the ring, you're like, that's a 170?
Yeah, and now we see he can grapple.
Yeah.
Even because we know his striking is clean, but now he
can grapple. Usman always looked like a 170-pounder to me. As big as he was up top, and like, god damn, that dude's strong. Like, his back, everything about Usman looked like it was chiseled out of stone. But then you see his legs, and you're like, well, he's got little legs. They're not long. He's not long-legged. He's like a stocky wrestler but he's got skinny legs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's why he's 170, because he's built like a fucking brick truck up top, and he's got these little stick legs. That makes sense why his weight is like that. John Jones, how big he always was, he's always had these little stick legs. But when then you see Ian Gary go into the cage, he's 6'2", really long and lanky, like bigger shoulders, and then you see his legs and they're big. And I'm like, where's the weight on this guy?
Yeah, it seems like,
how is he 170?
yeah, it seems like he could be 185.
Easily 185, but I would say sometimes he just looks like a 205. Like he looks like a skinny 205 guy, but that's just my opinion. Like, tell me he doesn't kind of look like, maybe not exactly, but like a Dominic Reyes type when he fought John Jones. Like 205, I've seen guys who aren't stacked at 205. You know, now there's some bigger guys. Like Brendan Allen is a big 205.
Yeah.
He's a grappler, but you look at Ian Gary, he still looks pretty big.
Right.
So seeing him at 170 fighting Battle, oof. Good luck to Battle on that one.
Yeah, he might get slept in the first round.
But I wonder who else could be a good fight for Battle. I wouldn't want Holland. That doesn't make sense to me. Maybe MVP?
Michael Morales. Michael Morales might sleep him.
Yo, Michael Morales will whoop his ass. Don't feed him. Don't feed Michael Morales Brian Battle, please.
Morales might sleep him.
Morales might sleep him. But yeah, like if you look around, Ian Gary's at 7. I don't think they would ever match Battle with Gary. He would need another win.
And Machado and Gary would need another loss.
But Jeff Neal, that could be interesting. And he might sleep Battle because Jeff Neal's still got that one-hit knockout.
I'd probably give the nod to Neal on that one.
I would think it would be interesting. Luque could be a good fight to build him. Luque is still a good enough name, even though he's lost a couple bad ones. Could be interesting. Moving on from Battle, good dub from him. Gumas, you called the Gumas fight. Gomes, however you pronounce his French name.
Did I pick Gomes?
Yeah, you picked Gomes.
Oh, you're frozen again.
Oh.
Oh.
My back?
You there?
I'm here.
Oh, you went frozen.
Sorry.
Yeah, you went frozen. Went frozen for a second. I thought Brito got robbed in this one. I thought he won rounds 2 and 3. I thought he did enough on the ground, had a bunch of control time, took him down 3 times. Yeah, I thought Brito got robbed.
I mean, there were times though where Brito got hit and he looked like he was ready to drop.
Yeah, I mean, Gomes had the advantage as far as striking when they were on the feet.
Mm-hmm.
But I still thought Brito did enough on the ground to win the fight.
Like Brito would throw 2 hard-ass punches and then Gomes would return 1, and then it would just look like the most impactful hit.
Yeah, and Brito seemed quicker, but I still didn't think he won the feet.
He was explosive, but he was sloppy at the same time.
Yeah, it was kind of strange.
Even if you've seen him warming up on the pads, did you see pre-fight? They went to Gomez's locker room. Gomez is on some pads like this.
Mm-hmm. He was chilling.
This. They go to Brito. Bang! 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 Like, he's literally hitting it as hard as he could. And I'm like, you're old. Why are you doing this?
He used all his power.
He really did. No, like, I knew it immediately that Gomez would win. Just off that alone, I seen a guy warming up, and then I seen Brito trying to beat the bag. Don't beat the bag. Like, not beat it as in punch it, like win, like they were fighting each other. Like, he looked like he was trying to finish a pad. Like, the pad isn't going to lose. You're not going to win any money fighting a pad. But he looked like he was fighting for his life against pads. So I'm like, okay, well, he looks like he's putting his all into this. Gomez is a young fighter who looks confident and calm. His nerves look under control. Brito looks like he needed the knockout. And if he didn't get the knockout, he knew he wasn't walking out winning.
Yeah, he was
So
contract for another contract
yeah,
last.
like it looked like there was a lot of pressure on Brito. This looks like his family's probably like, dude, you got to stop fighting. You're 37. Like, we're tired of watching you go out there and being scared,
Damn.
And that's what it was. He went out there literally swinging for the fences, was a little too sloppy, and I thought his energy really fell off a cliff. Like you said, the second and third round, you believe Gomez won by a mile, and it's because Brito was tired by the third.
Hmm.
He was dead. So that's what it was. The next fight was pretty interesting. Imavov and Brendan Allen. It was
Yeah.
almost a 10-8 in the first round.
Yeah, because he took him down and he had him on the ground for over 4 minutes.
So, like, that's what I was confused about, right? Is can you give Brendan Allen a 10-8? There was no time during that round where it should have been a finish. Like, the ref should have stopped in and called something. But there is not one point in that round where Imavov looked like he did anything.
That's true. But I guess they probably judge it more on damage, and I don't think Allen really did much damage at all.
So you think it was a 10-9 or a 10-8 in your opinion?
I'd probably give it a 10-9 because I never thought he was really super close with any submissions or, really opened him up, like got a cut on his forehead or on his eye or something. So I'd probably give it a 10-9. Even though he did control him for over 4 minutes and took him down with ease, but when he got him down, he didn't really do a whole lot.
Right.
That was the only thing. And then after that, it was Imavov in the second and third round. Imavov was winning the grappling exchanges, and he had great takedown defense after that first round.
Yeah, Allen got really gassed out of nowhere. His takedowns were weird. He would dive for the single leg and then just stay there. I just hit the wall behind me.
Yep.
But he didn't. But also, Imavov didn't know how to beat a single leg.
Right.
We already know. I told you this in the Almeida fight. There's certain guys, when they gas out, they go for single legs and bear hug it. What do you do to bear huggers on single legs? All you do is literally just drop the hammer fist. You drop the elbow down. It's a win every time. And that's what happened with Brendan Allen. He could have finished Brendan Allen easily in 2 rounds, second and third. Brendan Allen got mad sloppy on single legs. And think about it. This is it. For the new viewers coming in, we appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. But this is something I say almost every week when we watch the UFC and we see these wrestlers come in and get a single leg. All right, so I'll stand up, right? If you have a single leg, oh, the wall fell.
Damn.
Dang. Let me get the wall back. Hold up.
You're fighting the wall now.
I'm fighting the wall. But look at this. So if you have 2 hands on one leg, right? That means you have 2 feet on the floor or 2 knees on the floor and 2 hands on my one leg. That means I have 3 phalanges available. I have 1 leg to kick you with, to knee you. If you double grab this leg, I have this leg free, and I have these 2 hands. I don't understand how anybody loses against these single leg wrestlers. It doesn't make sense to me.
And his takedown attempts were so obvious, too.
Because we see fighters who get taken down, and then when they're on their back, even Imavov last night, he got top mount, and then he would lay on his stomach, on Brendan Allen's stomach like this.
Mm-hmm.
You drop from the bottom, too. So you're on your back. I've seen, dude, McGregor is nasty off the bottom. Disgusting. You know why? Because he elbows you in the top of your head.
Yeah, he did that to Chad Mendes.
He did it to Chad Mendes. Like, there's certain people who know this. When you're down on the ground, there's certain grappling. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu only works a certain amount because it's taught without punches.
Right.
Yes, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is great when you're not able to punch another man in the face. But the second you're able to punch someone, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu almost goes out the window. There's a new version of it. And it's MMA's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It means you need to know how to grapple and also protect yourself at all times. There's a difference. And that's what I'm saying is Brendan Allen, for one, wasn't defending himself properly off the back. Imavov was giving him the ultimate opportunity to just drop that elbow on his head. And then Brendan Allen was doing the same thing. Double single legs. Like, double single legs and you're not getting slept. I don't understand what's happening in these fights. Like, it looked like they're both just trying to keep each other in, if anything.
Vegas,
if anything, because that made no fucking sense. Zero. Zilch. Like,
still got the dub.
I don't know. That's just my opinion. When you're getting single-legged and held there, it's not even like a single leg and he's driving you into the wall. No, he grabs the single leg and then ducks his head and does nothing after. That's the part where I'm like, how do you not? The guy's in a fetal position grabbing, and he has both hands on one leg. I still can't fathom it. But anyway, we can move on because I could literally talk about that shit forever. The last fight of the night, the main event, Renato Moicano versus Benoit Saint Denis.
No, we want to talk about a 10-8 round. That was a 10-8 round. That was definitely a 10-8 round.
That was a 10-8 round. He beat the piss out of him in the first round.
There's no question with that.
Oh, my God. Like, and what did I say? Moicano needs steaks. Moicano needs money. I knew Moicano was going to get this dub last week. I don't care about the age discrepancy. I told you, Moicano's too much.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he did. Everyone was like, oh, well, St. Denis coming off the loss with Poirier. It's Poirier. And I said the same thing, too. Losing to Poirier does not mean you're a bum.
Right.
But coming off of a knockout, I'm talking not a TKO where you got caught and you kind of just covered up and you're like, whatever, I lost that position. No, you got slept.
Right.
You got put to sleep. And that is usually different. When people get knocked out, they don't come back from that the next fight. Typically, it takes the third fight. The fight after the next fight is when fighters can either make a comeback or your career is over. So that's what it is with Benoit Saint Denis. He got knocked out a second time, basically, because, my God, that stoppage, bro, he split him twice in the matter of 10 seconds. He punched him. You see the slow-mo. You see the eyebrow slit open. And then 2 punches more, you see another one just pop out of nowhere. So he had 2 separate cuts, like razor blade cuts across the eye. And then the other eye just starts getting puffy as fuck.
Yeah. I mean,
so that might be like a broken eye socket or something like that because the eye swelled up in a different way than this eye. This eye was inflamed because of 2 cuts. So it was bruised. This one looked like it was under. Like it looked like he had a big bag under his eye. So I'm guessing that's something from a swollen socket.
And then he had a big lump on the side of his head too.
He did have the lump on the side of his head from a punch.
Right.
But yeah, that one with the broken eye under, we even know that from basketball. People catch elbows and everything else. That's usually an orbital fracture. That's something Joel Embiid had last year. And many NBA players get every year from elbows and everything else that happens in the paint.
Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose. Like, we've seen a bunch of orbital fractures, and that's what I think Denny had on one side, and then the other was just cut up, and it swole. So, I don't know. I agree with the doctor why he stopped it. It makes sense. He can't see out of one eye, even though the ref was like, it's 2 eyes. And then the doctor was like.
Right. And for as bad as that first round was for Saint Denis, I thought he won the second round. I mean, I thought he was did better on the feet.
He did look. I think he looked good. What I think it was a little bit of adrenaline.
Yeah.
I think it was this like animal back to the cage. Like it was just like survival instincts. I don't think he had 5 rounds in him though. I think it would have got bad.
Yeah. And both eyes could have been closed by the 4th or 5th round too.
I think by the end of the 3rd round, both eyes would have been shut.
Yeah. Because
if let's see Denny today. Let's see what he looks like today.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna look like hamburger meat.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna look rough.
It probably wasn't going to get much better.
No, it was not going to get much better. As much heart as he showed in that second round, that just shows his cardio's there. He puts in the work. He does all those things. But sometimes your body just breaks down, and it is what it is. He got hit. He got split twice, and then the other side, he cracks his orbital. Yeah. So just is what it is. Your face didn't hold up to these punches this time. But shout out to St. Denis for trying to come back. 2 main events in a row. Lost them both, unfortunately. Won the knockout, won the doctor stoppage. So we'll see where he falls in the rankings and goes from here, but it doesn't look like St. Denis going to go on a run for a while.
Definitely not.
He's going to have to face, some gatekeepers, and he might just become a gatekeeper.
Because he's 12th? He's 11th or 12th, I think, in that division. What is he, lightweight? He's 12th.
12th, yeah.
He's 12th. Moicano was 11th.
Yep. So now Moicano should go up a little bit, not too much, but he was ranked above him already. He was one spot above the guy he just beat. So how much do you climb from that?
And they have Matt Holloway in the lightweight rankings right now. He's tied 9th with Rafael Fiziev.
Yeah. But I mean, shoot. Wasn't Imavov on two different rankings at one point?
No, because I think he just fought at light heavyweight. Or no, that was
that Dolidze?
That was Dolidze, yeah.
Dolidze, yeah. Oh, that was Dolidze. They kind of look alike. You knew what I was talking about. As soon as I said it, I was like, wait, that was Dolidze.
No, I always confuse them for whatever reason.
Yeah, they look alike. Their names don't look alike at all, but they kind of just look alike.
And they're from different countries too.
They're from different countries, but it's their build, the way they look. They kind of do look similar, though.
Mm-hmm.
Their fight styles and everything, they do look a lot similar.
But yeah, Dolidze, I think he fought at light heavyweight at UFC 306 against Anthony Smith because when he kept falling through with Roundtree and Hill, and then
for half a second, I swear they gave him a ranking, or they were going to.
For light heavyweight?
For light heavyweight, but I think it was because he lost. He didn't get it. But I think there were talks of already putting him in there.
No, I think he won. He beat Anthony Smith.
So is he in there then?
No.
Because there were talks. I remember when it happened. They were like, should he be on the rankings? Should he not be? But it's just he just went up that fight?
Yeah, and Anthony Smith is ranked 12th. But I don't see him in the rankings.
Yeah, so who knows what's happening with Dolidze?
But he's 10th in the middleweight rankings.
And he's fighting Holland next. I think Holland's probably going to put him out.
Holland's going to not – or is that what we're talking about now? UFC 307 prediction?
Yeah, let's jump to – it's exactly what I was doing.
All right. God damn, I love Kevin.
307 next week.
Holland? Jeez.
We could bounce around because that is the first fight on the main card, but there is some prelims that I wanted to talk about real quick.
Ryan Spann versus OSP. Two washed fighters. Oh, my God. That's the early prelims.
Really? That's on the early prelims?
Yeah, I think Ryan Spann will win that one.
Yeah, I'd put the house on Spann.
Yeah, why is OSP? He's 41. Jesus Christ. Hang it up, bro.
Yeah.
God damn.
So I would say OSP's losing that one. Book it. Bet the crib on it.
I'll bet the crib on that. I'll put $5 on it.
Put $5. Bet the crib.
Crib. All right. Yeah,
Put the crib on it. OSP losing probably in the first round.
And and Spann's minus 370. I'm gonna win no money if I put $5 on him. I put like 20 or something.
You're gonna come out with $5.80.
I know it's not even gonna be worth it.
Well, more on the prelim. We got Esparza, which I think that she should win that versus Tisha Pennington.
Yeah.
Esparza's boring, but I think she should win that.
We got
Ihor Potieria fighting Cesar Almeida in the early prelim as well. Marina Rodriguez is fighting. That's how you pronounce her name, right? It's Rodriguez, even though it's with the R?
Yeah. That's how they always pronounce it. So I think
that's how she's Brazilian, and they pronounce it a little different. Buckley versus Wonderboy should be kind of cool.
I'm honestly going to take Buckley in that one because I think he's just going to wrestle him and make the fight really boring. So, unfortunately, I think I'm going to take Buckley in that one.
I'm taking Wonderboy just because, why not?
I mean, I want to see Wonderboy win.
I want to see Wonderboy actually have a good kickboxing fight. That's all I want to see. So, I think Buckley has gotten caught before. He's had sloppy technique. He's had improper takedown technique and, ways to try to blitz the fighter, and he's gotten caught a few times trying to blitz. So I think Stephen Thompson, if anyone's going to catch you blitzing, it's going to be Stephen Thompson.
I just want to see that Kevin Holland and Stephen Thompson fight again.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite fights I've ever watched.
Yeah, it's true. That was a great fight.
That was a classic Wonderboy performance.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Definitely. What I hope gets set up is Wonder Boy versus McGregor. That's what I want to see. I would love to see like that type of thing where like it's just like the older guys that still kind of have it, still solid, top of their game, but not in their prime.
See, that's what McGregor should do now. He shouldn't fight any top people that are going to.
Yeah, fight the Cerrones. I don't care. Just go out there, have fun, be your personality, be yourself. You don't have to be the champ of the world anymore, the triple champ. We don't need that from McGregor anymore. He's put the sport over. He's brought the sport to new heights.
Yep.
You know, just still kind of stay within it, do your thing, make money. But now he's smoking blunts on live,
drinking his whatever brand of alcohol he has. Probably
he's drinking proper whiskey, proper 12.
Man, he's done. I just wish he'd say I'm done.
Right.
Because I don't think he's gonna fight again. I don't think he's gonna fight anybody real again.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't think that at this point because it's ridiculous.
He reminded me of Pat McAfee. I tweeted something out yesterday. I called him Mac McAfee because that's the way it felt like. What did you see the stream last night or yesterday?
Well, no, I didn't watch the full stream, but I just saw clips of him.
Well, clips, and it's literally him, and he sounds like Pat McAfee. Like it sounds like he's trying to do an impersonation.
He's gonna start his own podcast or something, though.
I've seen McGregor be himself and be like boisterous and is whatever, but that felt different. That felt like he was trying to be Pat McAfee. Like there was a cadence to his voice where it seemed like he was like, "Oh, this is popular. I'm gonna go on live. I'm gonna talk sports betting. Brought to you by this sports better. He's gonna go talk shit. He's gonna get drunk on live." It just felt like that.
Yeah.
Everything about it felt like a McAfee style show. The way he was getting up, his body movements, it just didn't feel like the way McGregor does things. It felt like he was putting on an act.
Or he was high and drunk.
He was high and drunk, but it looked like he was trying to portray McAfee. And McAfee, if you don't remember, last month, he went to Ireland and got drunk at a bar, live streamed it, did his whole show from a bar, got drunk, threw up on camera. Nick Saban was there in Ireland with him.
That's so weird.
It was a shit show. It really was. And then he said he took edibles before the show, and he was stoned on the live, like for ESPN.
And he got away.
And the worst part about it is they fired Zach Lowe, a guy who watches basketball and comes on sober. They got rid of him. But they kept Pat McAfee, and I think McGregor sees it. This is where sports media is going. These people are just like, it's like a drunk party. They're betting on football. I don't care.
I wonder how Pat McAfee now.
I know. It's kind of old to me now. It was cool at first. I'm like, oh, this is like the bad boy of sports media. Like he's kind of trying something new. But he leaned too hard into it, and he's kind of lost himself.
But they're firing so many people, so I would think they have to be given a McAfee and all those guys a bunch of money.
They gave him so much money, bro. So much fucking money.
Yeah. So Dalot saying a Holland. All right, I'll take Holland.
You'll take Holland?
I'll take Holland.
Okay. And then next is going to be Kayla Harrison versus Kathleen Vieira.
I'm not gonna make the same mistake as I did last time at UFC 300 when I picked home against Harrison. Harrison's gonna run through her.
Yeah.
And she's gonna. I don't even know. I've never cared less about a title fight, about a women's title fight until now.
Damn.
You thought Raquel Pennington and Myra Bueno Silva was a boring fight. Jesus Christ.
This is even worse.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I think I'm just going to take Kayla Harrison here. It seems like the way to go.
I'm taking Aldo, and he's an underdog too. I'm betting the house on Aldo.
Me too. Honestly, I was thinking the same thing. I like Batista, but I don't know, something about Aldo.
It's hard
not to, but that's what makes me want to bet Batista.
Oh, and he beat Martinez, who was a ranked fighter in his last fight, in his return.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm taking Aldo.
You're taking Aldo. I'll take Batista for the thrill.
Yeah, and then I don't even know Pennington and Pena. I don't care. I really don't care.
I'll take Pena.
I guess with the grappling, Pena might have the advantage. But then if he tries to get it in a boxing fight, it's going to look like Amanda Nunes again. I guess I'll take Pennington because I would love to see Pena lose again. Because she thinks she's somebody, or she thinks she's some big name in the UFC or an MMA. So I guess I'll take Pennington.
Okay.
But if Pennington loses, I wouldn't be surprised because Pennington's horrible too.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really care about it. It's just such a terrible fight, but I guess they have to do it. And then Harrison will become champ.
Right, and then Harrison probably versus Pena or Pennington next.
Yeah, and then the bantamweight division will actually be fun again.
All right. In the main event, Pereira, Roundtree.
I'm taking Pereira. I think it's disgusting that Roundtree gets a title shot after being busted for steroids and being suspended for 2 months. It's really it's I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know how you give somebody a title shot after being busted for steroids. He's getting rewarded for taking. This is what happening. He's getting rewarded for taking steroids. He was supposed to fight Jamal Hill at UFC 306, and instead he's getting a title shot.
Right.
It makes zero sense to me.
Doesn't make sense to me either. I really wonder what Khalil Roundtree could do, because Khalil Roundtree does have some sick tactics to win.
Yeah, those knees.
He could do that knee kick like he did to a few other fighters. He ended one fight with it.
Yeah, that was
really broke someone's knee.
Yeah, that was at the Apex.
Yeah.
That was
and
great.
I don't know, like Pereira has a lot of obviously striking skills and everything from his Muay Thai and kickboxing background. But is there something that Khalil Roundtree sees? He's got a lot of weird stuff. He does unconventional fight styles and different moves. This isn't a guy who just throws like standard, a left hook and a right overhand. Like that's not who Khalil Roundtree is. He does a lot of weird shit.
And what is the UFC see in Roundtree that they're matching him up against Pereira? So maybe they see something more in him too.
Maybe. Apparently, Sean Strickland said the guy's in a cult.
Roundtree, yeah, we're gonna believe what Sean Strickland says.
Khalil Roundtree is in a cult. I've seen the conspiracy theory video talking about him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, the craziest stuff. And I'm into conspiracy theories, but they went real deep with Khalil.
God, it must be crazy if you're not rocking with it.
It really went off the deep end. I'll just say that. It really did. Talking about he sold his soul to the Illuminati and all sorts of shit. I'm like, all right, we're losing the plot here.
Sold his soul for some steroids.
I get right. He sold his soul for some steroids. Is that what he really did?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'm taking Pereira.
But yeah, I don't know. But Khalil Roundtree, like I said, has no regard for human life. The way he kicked in that dude's knee was pretty brutal. And that's not like a fight thing. Typically, you just fight to beat somebody. He fights to break you.
Yeah, Roundtree, he's got some serious power.
He wants to injure you, and he wants a doctor stoppage. That's different. Like, Pereira's going there to piece you up and to make you quit.
The little left hook.
Khalil Roundtree's thinking of a way to break you in a way that the ref will stop it. So, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of nervous. Like, what happens if Pereira, he does the knee kick thing, buckles his knee in, and then Pereira's career is over? This is something I was talking about with Joel Embiid. There's something that's about, like, the spirit of the game. And the spirit of the game is to not hurt other players. You know? Like, it's about dominating. It's about winning. But it's not about hurting someone else. Overpowering, different things. But, like, injuring purposely, I think, is when it goes above and beyond.
Yeah, not in Roundtree's mind.
Who tore Russell Westbrook's knee up? Wasn't it Pat Bev?
Yeah, Patrick Beverly, yep.
For his entire career now, everyone knows Pat Bev's a little dirty. That was fucked up, you know? You don't dive at basketball players' knees in specific situations. There's some stuff where hoopers know. You don't do that shit. You're going up, someone's driving on you at the rim. Do you turn and curl? You never turn and curl because everyone knows that's called a bridge. You do not bridge a shooter. because they will flip over you or they land wrong and break an ankle. When you bridge somebody, you never bridge. You go straight up, you go for ball, or you get the fuck out of the way. There's no in between. You never bridge somebody so they flip over you.
Right.
Like there's these things in basketball. There's unwritten rules everywhere where if you do that, people know that like you either have ignorance and you're lacking knowledge in that, which means you don't play enough, you don't fight enough, you don't ball enough, whatever it is, you don't know these unwritten rules of the game, that you don't do these things. You're either not knowledgeable, which means you're dangerous to play with, or you are purposely doing these things and you are dangerous to play with. There's only two things.
You don't know ball.
You either don't know how to play basketball or you know it so well that you try to hurt people with your knowledge. Either one is malicious and terrible. I wouldn't want to play with somebody like that. There's a reason why when you talk to other people who play basketball or other sports and you go, yo, you want to go play pickup? No, I'm not about to go play with a bunch of people who don't know how to play basketball and get hurt. Isn't that something that people say?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not about to play with them. They don't know how to play ball. They'll hurt me. I'll get hurt playing with them. And that is straight up truth.
Mm-hmm.
I feel the same way. There's certain people who just don't know how to play basketball. I don't want to play with you. You're mad aggressive for no reason. You don't know how to play defense properly. You're hacking every possession. You're not playing back. You're not even a good offensive player. You don't have a refined skill set. Why am I going to go out here and risk my body and play with you when all you're doing is trying to hurt me to stop me?
Right.
You're not going for ball. You're literally trying to, cut my knees out. That's not basketball. That's not proper defense. So, I'm going to get hurt playing with you. Same thing. Khalil Roundtree tries to literally break people's limbs in fights instead of winning the fight the way most people win the fight.
Right.
You win it with strategy and positioning and, if anything, just hands and feet. But like I said, he's kicking you at your joint so it breaks. He's not kicking your quad. He's not kicking your shin. He's not kicking the vagus nerve or whatever it's called in your leg that Sugar Sean lost because his nerve shut down in his leg because he got kicked in the back of the leg, right there in the back of the knee. No, he's kicking you in the front of your kneecap straight up so it goes backwards. Right. I don't know. There's just certain things that I don't agree with, and I just don't think it's the gamesmanship of it.
Right.
So I'm just going to say Piera. I hope Piera sleeps this dude. Get rid of this steroid abuser. Fuck this guy. Get him out of here. That's where I'm at.
I agree.
But we can wrap this up with I got a fantasy lineup set for the WNBA. I hope some of you guys are here for the WNBA playoff pregame. That's what we're talking about right now. And let me jump to that. So let me screen share. And let me zoom in a little bit so we can see the writing better. So pick 5 players who will combine for 25 rebounds and 60 points. So I got Breanna Stewart, Jonquel Jones, Kelsey Plum, Asia Wilson, Dejanay Carrington.
Seems easy.
Seems good, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I got the boards covered with these guys, with Wilson, Jones, and Stewie. And then, Plum should give me 15. Asia should give me 20. That's 35 right there. That just means I need 25 from Stewie, Jonquel, and Dejanay. I think I got that.
Yeah.
And then game 2 is 25 assists and 5 threes. So I got Alyssa Thomas for the assists, Ionescu for threes and assists, McBride for threes and assists, Mabry for threes and assists, and Gray for assists with an occasional 3.
Yeah, Thomas could get 12 or 13 assists by herself too.
That's what I'm saying. If I get 8 to 10 assists from Alyssa Thomas, I've been combining Elena Smith's name.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Talking about Lynx and Sun for so long, I'm combining their names in my head.
Makes sense.
But Marina Mabry, Chelsea Gray. I think I could get the threes with them 4. They each just need 1, and then somebody to luckily hit 2. But I think Ionescu gets 2. I think Mabry hits 2. So that means I only need 1 from McBride and Chelsea Gray. altogether. So I think I'll be fine.
You should crush that one.
Should crush that one. And then day 3, this one is a little bit of a toss-up, so let's see where it goes, but I kind of like it. 5 players who will combine for at least 35 field goals and 10 free throws.
That's
so
possible.
you hope with Asia she gets at least like 8 free throws, 8 field goals, same with Collier, which should get me up to about 16 to 20. And then the others just need to get 15 combined. That's the way I see it. 5 makes from Courtney Williams, 5 from Dewana Bonner, 5 from Jackie Young. Jackie Young's been in a slump. But maybe this matchup does something.
Yeah, that's definitely possible.
And then after that is 2 more days, but they don't let me set the lineup because the games aren't official yet. And it's 20 assists, 20 rebounds, and then 5 3-pointers made and 25 points in the paint.
Nice.
Which this one could be a little tough. But it could work if I have Stewie and Jonquel, but I'm using them on day 1.
Yeah, you got to start off right.
I got to start right? I got to get an early win. So I got to solidify, at least get 1 win, and then go on the win streak later. And if I lose day 4 or day 5, it is what it is. But I at least want to go on a little win streak and get the 3-win pack.
Right.
If I win the first 3 days, I don't even care about day 4 and 5 because I already unlocked the highest reward, which is this right here, the 3-win pack.
Nice.
And then I could probably flip it because last week I won the 1-win pack and the 3-win pack. And it didn't go for too much money. It was only like $20 combined. But as long as I keep winning these fantasy lineups, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
Collins for the Lynx. Someone just commented, Collins for the Lynx. What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know what Collins means.
I don't know what Collins means. Commenter, please clear up your statement. What is Collins for the Lynx? We'll find out. But who do you got for today? What's your predictions? Sun Lynx for today. Just game 1.
I'll take the home teams. I'll take Lynx.
Home Liberty Lynx?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take them.
So Aces and Sun are going down today.
Yeah. Bet the house.
I don't know if this one's a house pick.
I'm betting the house on this one. I might bet $1.
Yeah. $1 sounds better. But put $5 on Ryan Spann.
Yep. Oh God.
$5 on Ryan Spann. $1 on
$20. $20 on Spann.
20 cents on the Lynx.
20 cents on the Lynx. Yeah. Low risk, low reward.
Can't go too crazy there. But anything else?
I think that's it.
All right. Well, today's going to be a fun, action-packed day. And I don't know. Good luck to everybody's team. I don't know what team y'all are rooting for. We still didn't get the clarification from Carmen12 about Collins for the Lynx.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who Collins is. I'm sorry.
Don't know.
They're not on the roster.
Nope.
It's either a typo or they meant to say something else.
All right.
But, before we go, 900 Cam Thomas Top Shot debuts.
Oh, my God. Jesus.
I hope to get to 1,000 before the season starts. So let's see if I can do it.
Yeah, you'll probably get there.
I don't know. It's getting difficult. People aren't selling them for $3 anymore.
They're finally seeing the vision.
They might. If enough podcasts talk about them, everyone's gonna start going, "Oh, maybe the Nets." But mainly, it's just about the fantasy perspective. Like, regardless if the Nets win or lose, you still need to hit your fantasy criteria in Fast Break. And if there's a night where it's, you need 100 points from 5 players, people are going to want to use Cam Thomas that night. It doesn't matter if the Brooklyn Nets win or lose. It's about if you need 25 points in your lineup.
Right.
And people are going to need it, so you got to come through me to get it.
Nice.
But, yeah, it's official. I own 8% of all Cam Thomas cards, the entire supply.
Crazy.
If I get to 1,200, I'll own 10% because there was initially 12,000. Now, from people burning and doing all these trade-in events and stuff, There's only 11,000 left. And like I said, I own already basically 1,000 of them. And I'll just take it from there. We'll see what's up. We'll see what happens. I wish you were in on this.
No, I'm saving them for you.
You should have got in on this deal, and then you could have 1,000 Cam Thomases. I'll have 1,000 Cam Thomases, and we'll see what happens. It'll be like the stock market. That's the way I see it, for real. Like, if I own 10% of all the Cam Thomas rookie cards, and I'm getting them at $2 each, $3 each, if these things are ever worth $20, that means I 10 times my money.
All right.
That's all it takes is a little bit of movement, and it goes nuts. Because what's right now, Cade Cunningham is at $30. Same rookie year, same rookie card. The other thing is he has different rare cards and legendaries and different rookie cards. Cam Thomas only has one rookie on the website.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's my whole theory. If Cade is worth $30, Cam Thomas is worth $3, and there's a bunch of different Cades to collect after the $30. There's a $30 one that's the cheapest, and then there's like a $100 version, and then there's like a legendary that goes for thousands. But yeah, if he's still valued at $3, I don't give a shit. I'll take the risk, because if Cade's worth 30, Cam Thomas is not 10% of the player of Cade Cunningham.
Right.
That's the way I see it.
I agree.
I wouldn't even say double the player. So I would value it either Cade Cunningham is also worth $3, or Cam Thomas should be worth the 30 that Cade is. And that's kind of what I'm betting on. Is I think he is more worth the 30 than Cade is overvalued. I think Cam is more undervalued. So we'll see where it goes, see how it forms out. But I think I'm in a good position now. It's his third season, but it took 2 years of me stacking his rookies straight every day, at least trying to buy one rookie a day for 2 years straight to finally get, like, 2 years straight. Think about it, at 700 days. And I have 900 rookies. I literally try to buy a rookie a day of his for $2 to $3. And that's my thing. Some people play scratch tickets. Some people do whatever. I'm going to take my chance here. And let's see if this season, if it pays off.
Yeah.
Because if it does, it could hit.
Be a rich man.
Jordan Poole, his rookie card now isn't worth that much. But on Top Shot, when he peaked and he was going crazy, it was for $120 each. The same amount that Cam Thomas has, the same amount of rookie cards, same supply. So if there was a supply and demand squeeze on Jordan Poole for $120 a card, if I could get and sell over 100 cards for $120 a pop, the same way people did with Jordan Poole when he got hot, that's the goal. So let's see what happens this year, and you'll notice something change if the Cam Thomas card pop. I'll have a better camera quality. I'll have a better mic. I'll be in the green. I'll be in the profit. You'll see me with an HD camera.
I bet.
You'll see me with this whole studio set. I'll have a studio like it's ESPN. No, I'm playing, but thank you guys for tuning in. We're crossing our fingers on generational wealth with Cam Thomas.
Yep.
And we're crossing our fingers for the big dub tonight for the Connecticut Sun and Alyssa Thomas. But I don't know. You got Lynx and Liberty. And you know what? I'll say Ace's Sun.
All right.
Let's see how it goes. You're going with the home teams. I'm going with the road teams. But we're going to hit the road right now. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. We always love the support. I was kind of stalling just to see if this commenter would reply again, but they didn't. So it is what it is. Calling for the Lynx.
Calling for the Lynx.
Calling for the Lynx, whoever that is. All right, we out of here.
Adios.